Hi angels, it's Hailey Reese, and today's video is yet another terrifying paranormal game. Now I know it might feel like I've been doing a lot of these lately, but it's because once I started getting into a couple of the other paranormal games that we've covered in the recent weeks, it just made me want to look up more. I tend to do this thing where I kind of fall down the rabbit hole with things and I just want to learn as much as I can about all the different ones, and this one spooked me out for so many reasons, and there are so many things that I want to talk about to do with it, and that is the bathtub game. Now there's a ton of reasons surrounding this game as far as why you should never play it. But before we get into those reasons, I think we're gonna do what we do all the time when we do these types of videos, and that is we are just going to read the rules of the game, how to play the game, and the warnings from the game. Then, once we've read through everything, I wanna let you guys know all of the different dangers of a game like this and why I believe this game is incredibly dangerous. Before we get into today's video though, I would just very quickly like to remind you guys that I am uploading every single day this month, both here and on my vlog channel, which is linked in the description. So if you enjoy my content, please click the subscribe button, join the Reese's Pieces, and end out 2018 here with us. But without further ado, I need to stop these shameless promos. They're getting lengthy. Let's get right on into this video. So I have here on my phone all of the rules and how to play and all of that jazz. So I'm gonna be reading it right off of here. I should really preface by saying this game is meant to be a ritual that brings forth the spirit of a woman who died in the bathtub. Now this game actually originated in Japan as well, and it is spooky. So it says that this is known as Daruma-san, or the bathtub game, and it's described as a deadly version of red light and green light. So the game requires only one person. However, this specific game has two parts to it. The first part you must do completely alone, but the second part you can do with people, if that makes any sense. And I'll explain a little bit better what I mean by that as we continue down the rules and the ways to play this game. So it also requires a bathroom with a bathtub. It says, note, a shower may not be substituted. You must use a bathtub. Instructions. So this is the first half that must be done alone. 1. Begin at night, just before you go to bed. 2. Shed your clothing and enter the bathroom. Fill the bathtub with water and turn out the lights. 3. Climb into the bathtub and sit facing the faucet and taps. Close your eyes and begin washing your hair. 4. As you wash your hair, repeat the words, Daruma-san fell down, Daruma-san fell down. Do not stop repeating them until you have finished washing your hair. Do not open your eyes. Now, interestingly enough, Daruma dolls are traditionally symbols of good luck, but the Daruma-san of this game is not, so it's not to be confused with these good luck dolls. 5. If you have performed this action correctly, you will gain a mental image of a Japanese woman standing in the bathtub. She will slip and fall, landing face first on a rusty tap and gouging her right eye out. 6. Should you hear any noise behind you or feel movement in the tub, do not turn around and do not open your eyes. Ask aloud, why did you fall in the bathtub? 7. Allow the question to hang in the air. Then, keeping your eyes shut, carefully stand up and get out of the tub. Do not trip and fall yourself, and do not drain the tub. Exit the bathroom, shutting the door behind you. 8. You may now open your eyes. Leave the bathroom as you left it. Water in the tub, door shut until morning. Do not turn on any lights. 9. Go to sleep. So then you're expected to just go to sleep as if you didn't just have that mental image and keep your eyes shut in the bathtub. You're just supposed to go to sleep. Now the real game begins when morning comes, and that is part 2, which can include other people, meaning you can be around other people, you don't need to be completely alone. The main event. 1. Wake at your usual time. The game begins the moment you open your eyes. 2. Go about your day as normal. You will feel a constant presence behind you. It is likely that, should you turn and look, you will see nothing. However, glancing over your right shoulder may occasionally reveal a glimpse of her. Her hair will be black and tangled, and she will have only one eye. 3. She will attempt to get closer and closer to you as the day goes on. Should you spot her and find that she's too close for comfort, shout, Tomar. That is, stop and run away. The idea is to put some distance between you and her. Do not allow her to catch you. The ending. 1. Capture her in your gaze by looking over your right shoulder. 2. Shout, "Kita." That is, "I cut you loose," while swinging your arm down in a chopping motion. If you have performed this action correctly, a winning condition will have been achieved and the game will be over. 3. If you have not performed this action correctly, run. Additional notes. She is fond of water in dark spaces. As such, it is recommended that you avoid immersing yourself in or crossing running water, as well as going through dark spaces, until the conclusion of the game. Use the Tomar command sparingly. Each time you use it, the amount of time for which it will stall her will diminish. Use it only when absolutely necessary. The ending must be performed before midnight. Failing to do so will grant her permission to enter your dreams. Do not allow her to do this. Additionally, performing the ending is not as easy as it seems. If she suspects you're about to try to end the game, she may hide. You must have her in the sights when you perform the Kita command. Concerning second attempts, it is not recommended that you play this game more than once. Should you play it a second time, she will begin in the same position she was in at the conclusion of the previous game. This will not provide adequate distance to escape her. Do not let her catch you. And then moving on to the frequently asked questions and answers, one of which is, what happens when she catches you? The answer is, you don't want to know. Another question is, what happens if you don't cut her loose and she follows you into your dreams? Is there any way to stop her? The answer is, if you fail to perform the Kita command correctly, you're sunk. Then another question is, why can't you wake up the next morning and do the Kita command then? The reply is, she might not be close enough for it to work. Remember, you have to have her in your gaze in order for the command to work. But as the rules state, it's likely that when you turn around, you'll see nothing. She'll only occasionally be visible. She's very good at being sneaky. You have to catch her in the act in order for that command to succeed. So that is how to play the bathtub game. It sounds just about as spooky as it is. I guess one of my biggest questions as somebody listening to the rules of this game would be, what happens if you never catch a glimpse of her and she's around but you never catch a glimpse, and how do you know if your Kita worked correctly? That kind of freaks me out, the idea of not knowing if she's there or not. And how many people play this game and they have called on a presence and they don't see it in the peripheral, they go about their day, they forget, and they never cut it off. I am super creeped out by this game because, and this was one of the biggest points I wanted to talk about in this video, water is very commonly known as a portal. It definitely carries a lot of energy. Not all water is portals. However, water holds a ton of energy. Ghosts and spirits are very attracted to water in general, and a lot of spirits travel from different dimensions and worlds into ours through and via water. So, to go into a bathtub with your eyes closed with the intention of summoning some sort of an entity really sounds like a recipe for disaster. My fear would be, even if this woman doesn't come, what could you be pulling through? What kind of an entity could you be crossing paths with? That in itself, knowing how powerful water is and knowing how powerful our thoughts and intention are, really, really freaks me out. Secondly, you're basically playing a game with the spirit and energy, and who's to say that once you cut it off, this energy doesn't linger? That really freaks me out as well. I think in general, it's just really important to remember that sometimes things like this definitely don't work. I'm sure there's tons of people who have played this game and never had any sort of negative outcome, or even maybe not even had an outcome in general, but I'm sure there are people who have had experiences, and that in itself is not a risk or a gamble that I would ever advise taking. Anything to do with a ritual or summoning via submerging yourself in water really just seems like something that I would encourage heavily to stay away from. But then again, I would encourage you to stay heavily away from this game in general. I literally wonder how many people have played this game and either forgotten to cut off the game, or maybe didn't have the opportunity to cut off the game. What did they see? Now, one thing I do want to argue is if I was in a bathtub right now If I was in a bathtub right now washing my hair and summoning something, and I know that this mental image of a woman in the tub slipping and falling is going to happen, I could make that image happen in my mind. So I'm sure a lot of people have seen this image, whether or not they actually are haunted or followed by something. That's something that I don't know. If you guys have had any experiences with a bathtub game or have any opinions surrounding it or to do with it, please drop your comments down below and let me know. I watched a bunch of people's YouTube videos on this, And there were a couple instances where people didn't really experience anything, but then there were also some instances where they felt the presence in other ways than what the game listed. Now, I will say in comparison to a game like the Midnight Man, it's probably a little bit safer than something like that, just because you're not donating your blood towards it and really, doing blood offerings in that aspect. But the idea of combining water with summoning something and doing a ritual leaves a really uneasy feeling in my gut, and I really wanted to share this specific paranormal game with you guys today. Do you guys think it's just an urban legend, or do you think that it would really work? Let me know that in the comments below as well. And that is it for today's creepy, spooky, paranormal game, the Bathtub Game. As somebody who takes baths literally every single day, I shower in the morning and take my nightly ritual of a nice warm bubble bath with either a cup of hot coffee or hot chocolate or a glass of wine, whatever the case is. I would not want to ruin the peacefulness of my bathtub by trying to summon something into it. That is for dang sure, aside from the fact that I would never want to summon anything in general. Well, you guys, that is it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed learning about it. For some reason, these paranormal games super intrigue me, and I love to learn about them, even though I know that I'll never play them. If you guys have any paranormal games that you want me to dive into in a future video, bring that down to the comments as well. Geez, I'm having you guys comment like novels down there. Next thing you know, Hailey Reese is signing essays in the comment section. If you guys are new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed, you do enjoy my videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and join the Reese's Pieces. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until tomorrow, I love you guys.